I'll give you one more exercise. What I want you to do is, I want you to basically play the scale. This is your first scale. Da, 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 da. I want you to play it like that. Then I want you to move the tonic of the scale, which is the note that names the scale. So that was a B, so it'd be B major. I want you to then move the shape of keep the whole shape of the scale the same, move it across the string to there. Now that becomes E. You've already played E, so you know the shape of because the notes are arranged the same, you get an E major scale. And then I want you to move it to the third thing. But you're going to have the problem is the tuning of the string will affect that fingering. So I just want you to see if you can figure that out for yourself. If you want to do a shortcut, the first two strings are they finger the same. They finger that way. But what you're going to have to do is the string words stay the same. These string words stay the same. But you have to move them up or down a fret depending as they go to the next string. And I'd rather you try and work it out for yourself. We take this fingering that we've got, where this, and that's your root. So this string word is offset across your root or your tonic there. So that scale form we can play anywhere. Play it anywhere. We stay in one position. We move it to the next string. Our ear tells us it's the same tonality, so we can get away without modifying the string. Different key, because that's a B and that's an E. That's where we keep the two things separate. When you change the root or the tonic of the chord from a B to an E to an A to a D and so on, what I'm trying to say is the tonality stays the same because it's major, but the root changes, which can be dissonant or it can be consonant depending on the relationship between the roots. But the roots that's two separate. I'd like you to keep those things separate. So if you're listening to a song, you don't need to know what the key of the song is to hear a major tonality, do you? But I think that people combine the tonic, the key that the song and the scale into something that's too complex to be practical use. The exercise I've just asked you to do: B major, E major, A major. You know immediately it's wrong. You play the finger in the same, but immediately it's wrong. That shows up another thing about the guitar. The fingering is nothing. When you get the fingering that's repeatable on different strings, just take that as a win, because all that counts is the sound. You have to modify the fingering for the sound, and because of the tuning that we talked about a minute ago, you basically have to play A, and you have to put the string word. You move the whole thing up. It makes it so much easier to modify the scale by doing that than it does to learn a new fingering. And then your last one, which is D, is the scale we did originally, which is we derived it by taking this scale. Oh, I've got enough, have I? But you know, the string down, and then we just basically stacked them like that. And that's where that shape differs from that shape, because we had to mod that automatically. I modified it for you without telling you by telling you the right stacking instead of stacking it there. Do you see what I mean? We took the string words that run against the top string and we just stacked them in that way. So it's a bit heavy, that was, but in a fun kind of way.
Does both the B string and the E string not modified, didn't they?
No. No, good. No. I thought.
Both come down one, haven't they?
Well, you can think of it that way. You can just say, well, that one's gone. Both of them modify if you work from that way to that way. Yeah, but if you work from that way to that way, that one modifies, because this is the boundary that it's like Alice through the Looking Glass. This is where everything gets slightly distorted by having to be shift down a fret. It can be. That's just a taster, but the more you're aware of that when you're playing around with scales, you'll teach yourself a lot by thinking about the consequences of that whenever you come across it. Now you're aware of it.